Parenting may be the most challenging and important job we'll ever face. It's certainly the most mysterious. Our children come with no instruction manuals, no blueprints guaranteeing success. And so we puzzle over the great riddle of raising our kids. Dr. Lawrence Kuttner, a clinical psychologist, teaches at Harvard Medical School and is a columnist for Parents Magazine.
What makes it difficult now is that the problems faced by parents of this generation are quite different from the problems faced by parents of 1 or 2 generations ago.
We begin with Barry and Barbara Cohen, who've been fighting with their 2 sons, ages 9 and 7, about everything from homework to bedtime. Unsure of what to do, Dad does what was done to him.
I spanked one of my children so hard. I hated myself. I said, I said, what am I doing? I knew I couldn't continue like that.
Is Daddy a good parent?
No. No,
And
turn it on.
why is he not a good parent?
Because he yells at me, he hits me, he punishes me, he makes me go to bed early.
And why does he do that?
Because he's mean.
Tell me an episode when you lost control.
The 2 of them would be fighting. I would tell them 5 minutes before, don't even look at each other, don't sit near each other, just stay away from each other. A minute later, one of them is crying or both of them are crying. I would be so upset myself that I would lose control. I'd wind up spanking them, and everybody would be crying.
And where do you think you got that idea to do that in the first place?
My father was a screamer. My mother was a screamer.
Barry comes from a long line of screamers.
And that's what he grew up with, and that's what he knows, and that's what he's perpetuating. Even if it doesn't work, that's the one technique he's comfortable with, so he keeps doing it.
Yeah, but you can't always be explaining to kids.
Well, no, you can't always be explaining to kids, but you can say, you guys are acting out too much. You're going to have to quiet down. I want you in your room until you can quiet down. That's very different from the you in your room, you in your room.
You believe in spanking?
By itself, it's a lousy technique. It doesn't teach the child anything new, except to fear you.
Carrie and Michael Pollack have 2 sons, 7-year-old Zachary and 4-year-old Dylan. Capturing the chaos on tape is easy compared to calming the storm. What would you do?
That is an absolutely classic temper tantrum. The kid is unable to express in words the intensity of the emotion that he or she feels. And so it comes out with flailing arms and kicking legs and screams. They're completely out of control. So what you want to do is you stay calm. Your child needs to borrow your calmness.
I like that idea.
What you do is you walk over and you physically move your child, even if it's only 2 or 3 feet.
Why?
It shows that you are in control of the situation.
There are times, are there not, when punishment is absolutely called for?
Well, discipline is different from punishment. Right? Discipline has to do with teaching. And yes, there are times when a kid needs to see the consequences of behavior. What I like having is natural consequences of things. Your child loses his baseball mitt all the time, you don't go out and buy another one.
How about timeouts? What do you think about timeouts? Pretty effective?
There are 2 purposes to timeout. One is your child has to calm down, get back in control. The other is the parent has time to calm down and get back into control. What we found with timeout is the shortest period possible is the best.
Of course, as children grow older, the menu of parenting problems becomes more complex. How do you give your child a taste of independence without risking their safety? It's a balancing act Marilyn McLaughlin struggles with every day.
No, your lung sounds pretty good.
As a single working mom with 2 girls, 13-year-old Erin and 11-year-old Melly. Here's what happens when Melly, her 11-year-old, asks to have 30 extra minutes after school to hang out with friends.
I do not approve of you being out on the streets without adult supervision for that length of time by yourself. Melly, where do you hang out and talk to your friends?
In school. In the schoolyard.
No, you...
Because a lot of the people play basketball and we sit around and talk.
But there's no adult supervision over there.
There's the guard.
No, The guard is not looking out for you. He doesn't care what's going on.
He stands by the gate until like 6 o'clock at night.
The whole
And also scolded out the school.
The whole matter of fact is this, that I feel very uncomfortable.
She's just in the schoolyard.
How do I know she's just in the schoolyard? I'm supposed to trust you to say you're just in the schoolyard.
Yes, you are.
Here we have the daughter who is telling her, you know, this is what I need. I need more independence.
Right.
I need more time.
Maybe we could...
The mother is saying, I don't want you to spend time on the street. They haven't met in the middle and say, I know you need more independence, more autonomy. Maybe we can find some place that isn't home, but where there is adult supervision. Maybe there's an after-school program where I, as your mother, will feel more comfortable, and you'll get to be with some of your friends, and there are going to be adults around.
It's natural for kids to keep pushing the boundaries, testing the limits of their freedom. For Bill and Ellen Owens and their 12-year-old son, Patrick, a rock concert has drawn the borderline between them. The argument moves to their living room, where both parents and child slip into their well-worn roles.
When was the last rock concert you were at?
35 years ago.
Exactly.
But Patrick, they weren't in the papers 35 years ago saying that people were seriously hurt at concerts.
The Primus concert was not in the newspaper.
Yeah, but we're not going to know. The next one that's going to blow up into a riot with a mosh pits. People are going to get hurt and killed and called ambulances, or somebody's going to bring a gun. Yeah, we are scared. You're right. Damn right.
This is a 12-year-old boy.
Right.
Is that too young to go to a concert?
There's no age cutoff either way. What's important is that if this is such a big deal for the child, how can the parents see that their main need, the child's safety, is addressed? That could be with a chaperone. If they're scared that he's going to get injured in moshing, how could he avoid it? If he finds himself surrounded by this, if people are grabbing at him, what does he do?
If they decide not to let him go to this concert, should there be other options given at this point?
Yes, they should let him do something different. Otherwise, he's going to keep on pushing the envelope, keep on pushing for more.
As diaper changes and midnight feedings inevitably give way to first dates and late-night parties, the best advice may be to remember that the ultimate goal is not about making carbon copies of ourselves, but a healthy, happy original.
I'd like my kids, our kids, to feel really good about themselves. And I think if they can feel that way, that they can accomplish whatever they want.
I'd like my kids to grow up and move out.